Hello, dear students. This is Hina Kasir this side, welcoming you again for the today's session that is on reference group, which is the last point of the unit 1 of the paper Basic Concepts in Sociology. We'll see the meaning first. The term reference group was coined by Herbert Hyman in 1942 to apply to the group against which an individual evaluate his or own situation or a conduct. Here, Herbert Hyman has distinguished between membership group to which people actually belong and a reference group which is used as a basis for comparison. A reference group may or may not be a membership group. The term reference was introduced in the literature on small group by Muzaffar Sherif in his book An Outline of Social Psychology. The concept was subsequently elaborated by R.K. Merton and Turner. So from this slide we have understood that a reference group basically where people may belongs to or may not belongs to, but it is a basis of comparison where they are following or making them as their model, that is a reference group. Definition we'll see. According to Sherif, a reference group is one to which the individual refers and with which he identifies himself, either consciously or subconsciously. The central aspect of the reference group is psychological identification. According to Shibutani, a reference group is that group whose outlook is used by the act or as the frame of reference in the organization of his perceptual field. So to brave this particular slide, we can say that reference group is a psychological identification where individual considering the other individual or a group as an act or a frame of reference, a model, and accordingly they are trying to refer them and identify himself in it. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. That is, again we are having a definition given by Houghton and Hunt, who have pointed out a reference group is any group to which we refer when making judgments. Any group whose value judgments become our value judgments. They have further said groups which are important as models for one's ideas and conduct norms can be called reference groups. Ogburn and Nimkov has given one definition for reference group as groups which serve as point of comparison are known as reference groups. They have further added that the reference groups are those groups from which we get our values or whose approval we seek. So to brief this particular slide, we can conclude that in the reference group, basically people consider and value the group or an individual and considering them as their model, their ideas and respecting their ideas and norms and giving importance to it and considering it. Okay, so consider is again very important here and referring it. Okay, next slide we are having that is of reference group, where we are going to understand that an individual or a group regards some other group as worthy of imitating. Such group is called reference and the behavior it involved is called the reference group behavior. It accepts the reference group as model or the ideal to imitate or to follow. Reference groups therefore can be numerous. Some may begin imitating, others may be potential imitators, and some others may be aspiring to imitate. The importance of the reference group concept is highlighted by R. Merton in his theory of relative deprivation and reference groups. He argues that we orient our behavior in terms of both membership and non-membership, that is, reference group. So to conclude this particular slide, again we can have a briefing that here we can understand that how one particular reference group we are having as a model, and people are imitating and following it and considering it, and they're having a, they are following it, potentially they are the imitators, they are beginning to imitate, or maybe they are aspiring to imitate them for later on. Next we are having, that is, individual evaluate his own situation and behaves with respect to three reference group situation. What are they? The group in which he is a member and has a direct contact. The group to which he aspires to be a member but does not yet have direct contact. And a group in which he is not a member and does not aspire to membership. So the individual social participation and functioning then operates under a continuing series of adjustments depending on individual's perception of three kinds of reference groups. So this is what the reference group, students. I hope you have understood the today's session. Here the semester 1 chapter 1 last points ends. So we'll start the unit 2 in the next session. Thank you so much. Take care.